Good morning, my dear friends. I've finally reached the time when I can go to the garden, pick some flowers, pick other plants, and make the first real bouquet of the season basically for free. I'm just starting this free bouquet series because I know you really like it. And to confirm what I'm saying, please write in the comments. Yes, I like the free bouquet series. I'm about to head to the garden, pick some flowers, and we'll make the first bouquet. In my garden, the ornamental alliums have started blooming intensely, so they'll be the base of my bouquet. The weeds have also started growing like crazy, so maybe I'll pick some weeds and make a bouquet with them. What do you think? Should I do that or not? Weeds, meaning plants just as nice as any others, only less desired by us. I'm heading to the garden now to pick some, and I encourage you to subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell, and share this video. Maybe others will also get inspired by these free bouquets. I, my dear friends, am always very happy when I can go to the garden and pick a few flowers for a vase. And at the same time, I can also make a bouquet because, as you know, above all, I'm a florist. So today I'll show you that as well. I said I would pick some weeds, but I didn't pick any weeds. Instead, I picked some herbs because I have lovage. Listen, I'll use lovage as a base plant. Besides ornamental garlic, I also have chives that have bloomed. So that's also an additional, let's say, herbal vegetable element. And I have clematis, Montana Frida, which is blooming beautifully right now. And I want to use it. We'll see how it does. It's probably best to cut it early in the morning and then make a bouquet out of it. But because it has such a super curved shape, I'm going to make a bouquet that's a bit different than you might expect, because I'll make a bouquet that's more flat, Euonymus alatus, as an additional filler element, and I'll actually start with it. I'll combine it with clematis, which will be hanging somewhere. I've already made quite a few videos about bouquets and arrangements. There's a whole playlist you can check out. The link to the playlist is somewhere here. There I show various arrangements, both bouquets and arrangements in containers. I think many of you have been inspired and are watching these videos. I just asked if you like making free bouquets and if you're waiting for this series. So if you haven't answered yet, I encourage you to do so. Euonymus alatus. Listen, I pruned it so short, so I'll have to give it quite a lot of water so that the water here, so they can drink freely. I'm actually putting it here only as a base, so it's right at hand. It's supposed to be a kind of green form in which I'll continue building this bouquet. The bouquet won't be overflowing with abundance because the abundance of flowers and plants in the garden isn't that great yet. But I really wanted to use this clematis because it's such a great element in my garden. Oh, looks like the wind's here. It showed up today too. Look, long stems that we can arrange in various ways. You can thread it through this bouquet, you can do it to the side, you can make a hanging element, and it's really fun to play with this kind of form if you have access to such diverse stems. chive and ornamental garlic, and I also have camassia. Camassia is a bulb plant that I personally like very, very much. It has a beautiful arching form, and here it will be an additional nice element. And lovage, well, when the bouquet stops looking nice, you can take the lovage out, dry it, put it in the freezer, and have it for broth all season long. I cut the lovage because it had grown a lot, and there behind the lovage I have posadzoną beans planted, which will be climbing. So it was already zacienia, shading the beans so you can trim it a bit. I already have a lot frozen, so I don't need more. Later the lovage will bloom nicely. That's why I leave some of the stems so they can bloom nicely. Lovage. As a structural element, listen, it's also fragrant, and look how beautifully it drapes. Of course, it wilts quite a bit, but when it gets water, it will perk up without any problem. Lovage looks great, especially in bouquets you want to make for your home. If you are making them for an event or for a client, maybe not. But at home, it's perfect. I'm placing the ornamental alliums at different depths, some deeper and some higher. I'm trying to arrange the shape so that the clematizes come out here. They were cut a while ago, but they're not wilting yet, so yeah, that's pretty good. But maybe it's because it's not very hot and they're managing for now. It would be nice to have a few more of them, but as for clematis, I don't want to cut it because its stems are so beautiful and colorful, and it creates such an amazing wall in the garden. I've also prepared the last tulips because a bouquet always needs a larger element, and this tulip will be just such a great accent. Because if I place it somewhere here, it will give us a beautiful color scheme. Of course, these aren't bouquets that will be very long lasting. Because remember, these plants aren't conditioned, they're just picked straight from the garden. But if we put them in water quickly, they'll perk up a bit. Soon it will be peony season, so we can really make great bouquets with peonies. Peonies are heavy, it's true, but they can manage. If we trim them properly and put them in water, they'll stand for a while. My dear friends, I think I'm basically done. It's time to cut. Remember to trim the bouquet properly so that underneath here, below the binding point, there are no branches, no leaves, no dirt. Because all of that causes the rotting process to happen much faster. And then the plants can't absorb the water because the vascular bundles in the plants are blocked. It's time to tie it up. I usually tie it with synthetic raffia. Maybe I'll manage with it here because it's windy, but it's here. I tie it 2 or 3 times. There are different tying methods. I've shown them many times, so if you want to see them, go back to the previous videos. Well, I've already prepared some kind of container here. Tying. I've even prepared the container I mentioned earlier. It's a round container, and I think a low bouquet will look great in it. Of course, there's water inside. Look, it drapes around it really nicely here. This clematis runs along the container really nicely, following a beautiful line. I think for a first bouquet like this, I'm already satisfied because it should last a while. Well, maybe not for a very long time at home, but it will last for a while. And once again, it turned out that the little table from Jagram came in handy. It's a great thing when you can move a piece of furniture like this to different places for work because it's light and you can really put it anywhere. And of course, when it comes to Jagram, they're our partner in the Wow Garden project. And I also have a discount code for you from them. All you have to do is enter Hubert10 on their website or click the link in the description of this video, and all the products will be discounted right away. If you want to see more of them, of course, I encourage you to watch the Wow Garden project, because very soon, in just a moment, we'll appear in the first garden.